as far as I can tell, the screen is actually doing pretty all right now. But anyway, hey guys, what's going on? I know that the camera looks a little strange. I'm using a different phone than I usually do. But in particular, this video is kind of sort of going to be like a little bit of an announcement, more or less, instead of like the usual kind of videos that I do. So definitely looking to hang out with you guys. Y'all can pop in here if anybody's able to stop by and say what's up. As per usual, I am more than happy to do some fragrance content. I'm not going to be streaming for an excessively long time tonight. Going to kind of keep this one a little bit on the short side, but just wanted to come hang out with you guys while I had the chance to do so. Kind of sort of update you intentionally about what's going to be happening with the channel, kind of going forwards, and or at least what I'm going to be trying out to do for a little while. It's no absolute guarantees that what I'm going to be trying is going to actually stick, but I'm going to give it a shot, just see how things feel, and kind of just be fully like let myself out, let my personal interests and things out. But before I get too fired up, I'm just going to see if anybody can come through here tonight, and if you get the opportunity to come talk for a little bit before we get really going anywhere. This phone actually is terrible as far as the camera concerned. That's really like I struggled so hard to get it to actually start filming earlier because of just the general lighting situation. But yeah, definitely just see if we can get some people in here. If you guys are free tonight, before I start talking too much about what's going to be happening going forwards as far as the channel is concerned. But I will say this morning when I was doing my stream, I appreciated so much that you guys came through. Everybody who stopped through at this morning's stream really meant the world to me. Everybody who helped vote today on the channel name situation, I really appreciate that so much. So I definitely am going to do general fragrance stuff first. What's up, Love Bug? Thanks for coming through. I appreciate you. But definitely appreciate anybody who wants to pop through and just generally talk about some fragrance stuff tonight. Your boy Love Bug, what's up, buddy? Appreciate you so much for popping through. But definitely got a name change for the channel. I'm still going to be doing fragrance related content, but I did want to, technically speaking, take the fragrance out of my channel's name for a couple of different reasons. Yes, it is. This is an incredible amount of fragrances that I have here in particular, but that's just what I do on this channel. In and of itself, for quite a while, I've been a fragrance reviewer. So more than happy to answer questions about this. Technically speaking, this stream is kind of a bit geared toward, are you going to the moon? Yes, I am. Uh-oh. Oh, no. My little setup I'm trying to do here. I caught that. Are you Vector? Yes, I am Vector. Uh-oh. See, here's the issue, though. When you don't have like all the pros are supposed to have, and you got one of those super high-tech tripod situations that you're trying out to do that cool lighting situation. Paul Wall, better believe it, baby. You know what? We're not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that stupid little light thingy tonight. I'm just gonna hang out with y'all as it is. Although that's really funny that you say that. Nobody's ever referred to me as Paul Wall before, but I will take it. But anyway, thank you guys for popping through. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Now you just see me wiggling the phone all in my face. But yeah, this is kind of the collection as it stands right now. Got a lot of adjustments that I need to do. But I have a question. You're what? You're cocooned. I don't have a clue what in the world you are referring to personally. Yeah, again, sorry for the serious technical issues that we've had. Toy Boys. If you're talking about Machino Toy Boy, I think that's, I don't know if that's how you say that, Machino. Anyway, so yes, this is actually a pretty fantastic fragrance for me personally. I like it. I didn't know how I was going to feel about it. I hate the name. I don't like talking about this one if this is what you're referring to. I don't like talking about it because it's a doofy looking bottle and the name is goofy as all can get out. But I do love the smell. For something that's just different, I haven't smelled anything either like it so far. Did you ever hear the tragedy Plagueis the Wise? I have not, Varth Dater, but I would love it if you would take the time to explain it to me and tell me what it's all about. But with that being said, I know that a lot of random people are going to pop through during this particular stream. Which country are you from? I am from North America. I used to say just America, but had some issues and people weren't too fond of that, I guess. But yeah, I'm from North America personally, from the South. I don't know if I sound like it or not, depending on how much time I've been around my family I have. This fuzzy ball is honestly, I might take it off at some point during this stream just to see how it sounds. This is what goes on the microphones these days when you get these lavalier mics. So somebody earlier today asked me if I had a growth on my neck, and I started laughing about that. I like your hat. Thank you, Mick. I appreciate that. So just waiting for a handful, hopefully just regular people from the channel popping through here. Anybody new comes through, I appreciate that, and you're more than welcome to stick around. But I am going to be talking about some stuff that like a handful of new people probably will not care about, but that's okay. If anybody wants to ask fragrance questions, That's totally fine. But I used to be Douglas Moon Fragrance, going through my middle name. I changed that as of today because of some particular reasons of things I'm going to be doing with the channel going forwards. Can I be a mod? Um, I might do that. I already have a handful of people that I got working through that for me right now, so it's very possible that I might end up making you one, though. We will see. But where are you from? Which country? As I said, I already answered that before, so I'm from the United States. I guess that's a better answer I can give you guys. But yeah, so pretty much going forwards, I'm going to start doing a little bit of a shift in some of the stuff I'm going to add content-wise to this channel. So far, it's been a fragrance-related channel where I'm only really doing like reviews and stuff like that and discussing fragrances and doing these streams on a regular basis. Doing these live streams has actually become like the most special thing for me, hanging out with like new people, getting to meet everybody who comes through usually. So really been appreciating you guys as a whole, and it's just been very special for me and a huge blessing. With that being said, I've also really appreciated getting the time to pray with you guys and discuss matters of faith and stuff and get to know different people from different walks of life as well. So been thinking about a lot how I'm going to do things on this channel going forward, especially me and my wife have been talking about certain subjects I really want to start getting into with y'all. So pretty much I decided to change the name for the sake of the fact to kind of reflect that I've had a lot of people come through the live streams who maybe necessarily aren't interested in fragrance, but still like to hang out and chat during these things. So real quick, I will start. I'm going to continue on with the questions during this. So, do I like Ultra Male? To be straight with you, I'm not the biggest fan of Ultra Male. Just throwing it out there, being completely honest. I am not the biggest fan of it. I love the Jean Paul Gaultier line for the most part. Le Male, Le Parfum being my favorite fragrance of all time. But in and of itself, Ultra Male is just a little too youthful for me. Plus, they technically discontinued it. So nice cologne back there. Appreciate that, Josiah. Excuse me, Capricorn Flower. Hello, how you doing? I'm gonna actually, so that's another thing. Like I said, going forward, you guys need to start calling me by my first name. I know you gotten used to me as being Douglas Moon, but Andrew is what I go by in my normal life. It was just originally just a straight up name I was doing for the channel, but I'm just gonna start going by my actual name anyways, because like 90% of the videos I do, I accidentally just go ahead and introduce myself like that. So never take the Lord's name in vain. In my life, I have done that plenty of times. I don't do that now, but just for personal reasons. But in and of itself, yes, I have said that plenty of times in my life. What's your best casual scent? Best casual scent, just as a nice, like relaxing type of fragrance. It's hard to say best, but today I'm going to try to switch it up just a little bit and say something different because earlier my wife was wearing a hoodie that I left in the car and it had Bianco Latte on it. And it's such a beautiful, like delicious vanilla, fresh baked waffle cone scent. I've talked about it a lot because it really is what it smells like. And it's strong and it lasts, but at the same time, it's kind of like a relaxed, subtle type of thing. So it lasts all day. So in that sense of strength, but it's not like in your face. It just smells really nice. It doesn't smell synthetic or cheap in any kind of way. So I really like it. Perfume Monsters, yes, you better believe it. But I appreciate you, Josiah, for asking the question. But yeah, like I said, kind of want to hang out with you guys, and I'm going to answer fragrance questions because that's like the core of what the channel has been so far. But yeah, not interested in like arguing with trolls or anything like that. So if anybody wants to ask questions that are, or if anybody wants to get into debates, that's not what this channel is ever going to be about. It's not, because that's ridiculous and pointless. But as a person of faith myself, I've never been a person who wants to be very pushy about that kind of thing. But I've had a lot of my buddies come through here, and we've had a good time talking about certain things from like Bible studies and stuff like that. So just kind of want to make a general shift that I'm going to keep doing fragrance content, but I'm also going to start featuring videos and stuff with my family, not during live streams because it's a little bit more of a different scale. But I'm going to start featuring more things with me and my wife, and probably not necessarily my kids because I don't really want them to be on camera. Because as my personal experience has been, there's all kinds of people in this world, and while it's funny, whatever people want to like crack jokes about me, definitely not receptive on my end of people doing that kind of stuff about my children. Very much protective of them in that kind of capacity. So, but like I said, this channel is going to start gear shifting more towards like just straight up doing still fragrance reviews. I'm going to be doing these live streams on a much more regular basis and hanging out with you guys. I'm going to continue answering you guys' questions as we go through doing this. But like I said, I'm going to start featuring a lot more things about my personal interests as a whole. And so anybody who wants to be part of that, you're welcome to those streams. They're going to be designated by title. Anybody who wants to join the Bible studies, when we are diving into and studying other belief systems as well, Hinduism, Islam, so forth, all different kinds of things, or even general philosophy, you guys are going to be welcome for that. And it will be titled and then put in playlists. So you'll see when those live streams are going to happen. But again, I am still going to be at the core also going back to talking about fragrances. I'm always going to be doing that during these kinds of streams. So don't worry. If you're here simply for that, that's cool. I know it sounds stupid to a lot of people because that means that my channel is going to be a little bit in different directions. So it's not just going to be fragrance. It's also going to be like faith and stuff. So basically that's the thing: fragrance, faith, and family, and faith histories, basically. So something that's very passionate for me. But since this channel in and of itself is just developing, and these live streams is kind of how I'm connecting to you guys, that's pretty much what I'm going to do. I will answer you guys' questions though before I get. Whoa, this has been a horrible setup because this phone that I have that I'm using tonight, it's not my usual phone, so it doesn't want to balance for me as well. Yeah, sorry about this, y'all. I know it's like irritating and I have to keep adjusting this, but I'm trying. And then I'll get back to you. Thank you, Rubus, for the support. But yeah, it's definitely been a little bit of a struggle to get this bad boy to work out. David Cross. Yeah, I love that one. I gotta meet that guy one day in person, hang out. With that being said, God bless you, Josiah. I really appreciate you. Unlocking Paradoxes, doing fantastic. Let's see. You are having issues with the camera, or glad it's now. I sure was having issues. What's the best Xerjoff? For me personally, Xerjoff Naxos is my favorite. Best though, it's kind of up in the air to a different person. Got to go to bed in France. Well, good night, and I hope you sleep dreams. Okay, now that I've got this kind of set up a little bit, sorry about that. I'm not going to be able to really touch the screen. So if I don't get to your questions, please, by all means, don't have a problem repeating yourself. I'll do the best I can to get back to you afterwards. But yeah, like I said, just kind of want to do a bit of a general stream to update you guys who are usuals to the channel. And also the camera's probably going to fall one more time because this phone that I'm using just doesn't balance well. But this isn't supposed to be something that's like very professional. Not that they normally are, but I love having you guys come through. Yeah, I love yeah, okay. Well, anyways, with that being said, I am going to ask you though, if you come through here, I like cracking jokes, but during my streams, I have children and like teenagers who pop through sometimes who like are kind of fans of the streams and channels. So I do want to ask you guys an appreciation to be a little bit more on the, I guess what I call it, maybe on the PG-13 side of things. So try to keep it a bit appropriate if you can. TikTok trolls came to YouTube. It happens from time to time. But like I said, I appreciate anybody stopping through. You guys are always more than welcome to ask questions. But with that being said, just try to keep it a little bit more appropriate if you could do so. Because that's the whole point. Like at this point going forwards, I am going to be making this a lot more family friendly completely because that's just who I am personally. And I want to really bring that to the channel as I get to know you guys. What? I guess so. Yeah, okay. Well, anyway, so that person in particular just got hidden from the channel because they are on TikTok too. Well, either way, like I said, I don't know much about half the people that come through here, so I really hope that you guys in particular are able to help me. If you ever see people like overly trolling, I try to give people a chance. Dior Sauvage, yes or no? Definitely 100%. I love Dior Sauvage. Dior Sauvage Parfum is my personal favorite. The Eau de Parfum is in second place. Now, the Elixir is a completely different scent profile, so I don't really kind of typically consider them to be in the same vein. But I do love the Elixir as well. But definitely Parfum at the top, Eau de Parfum, and then the last one, the Eau de Toilette. Burberry preferences. Burberry Hero is my personal favorite of the bunch. So again, anybody who comes through here, you are more than welcome to continue to ask about fragrances. This stream as a whole is not necessarily going to be fully based on fragrances, although, again, I am here. I'm going to answer your questions. But for the most part, and you literally just spoke about family friendly. Okay. Oh, no, like I said, you guys, I'm not telling you guys do not ask. You're more than welcome to ask me fragrance questions. But yeah, this stream's definitely just kind of updating you guys as a whole about what's going to be happening going forward. So I appreciate y'all. Ordered Hodlodge Island. So you ordered the original Hodlodge Island. Fantastic choice, brother. I absolutely love that one. But yeah, do you have Jean Paul Gaultier? So Jean Paul Gaultier, I actually have every last one of them except for the Ultra Male and the original Eau de Toilette. The reason is I had the Eau de Toilette. I actually originally gave that away as a gift to a friend who had it, and he like absolutely loved it. Funny fact though, he ended up giving that to his brother-in-law because he loved it as well. So I want to get a new bottle because they've got a new updated formulation of Le Male Eau de Toilette, and I actually really love it. And ironically, it's pretty strong for an Eau de Toilette. But yeah, I've got all the Jean Paul Gaultiers, the rest of them up here except for Ultra Male and the original. So if you got any questions, please feel free to ask. The Le Male Le Parfum, the black bottle, that's my personal favorite of the bunch. The Elixir is my second. And then after that, definitely the Beau Le Parfum. So that's the blue one. It's the newer one, and it's definitely a very strong fragrance. But yeah, so overall, in and of itself, this channel is going to keep being what it is now. I'm going to keep doing these live streams just as they are, but I'm also going to feature, like I said, routine scriptural studies because, again, I personally am a Christian, but I set aside theology in and of itself to some degree when I do those studies under my friends who they themselves are scholars. And I've been studying for a very long time, and it's something I'm very interested in, like religious histories, all religions. And I have some very good materials that kind of cover like up-to-date scholarship. And so again, a lot of you guys probably don't give a crap about that, but I'm going to start having designated streams where I take you guys, basically do readings and step-by-steps, and then discuss with you guys things. Not debating. We're not going to be arguing about stuff. Definitely not going to be putting down people or coming at people for their beliefs, whether you differ on that. But I just want to take the time, if I can, for anybody who's interested to stop through for those streams. I don't expect them to be very popular. That's okay. I was going to start a whole another channel for that stuff, but I ultimately was like, you know what? I'll stick it on here. It doesn't really matter. Who cares? But yeah, so when I do that, you guys are totally welcome to do so and then ask questions and stuff. But again, it's not going to be an argumentative place, nor is it going to be trying to like push beliefs on people. Just that kind of like, let's learn from each other. Burberry Touch is my favorite. I like Burberry Touch. I haven't smelled Burberry Touch in a while, and it is a very nice, true to the blue kind of masculine fragrance. But to me, I like the Burberry Hero. I believe I've got which one do I have? I think it's the Eau de Parfum. I'm pretty sure that's what it is because this was the one that my wife loved. And this reminds me of something too. When I think about this smell, it's interesting because this feels like almost a blend in a way. There's notes to this when it starts to cool down, that very first opening, that kind of make me think of Le Male Parfum. But then there's those underlying tones that cut through that have almost like a weird bubblegummy feel to it, even though I know that's not necessarily the core that this was going for. But yeah, Burberry Hero Parfum, Eau de Parfum is actually a really nice fragrance. Also been really going back over L'Homme Ideal Extreme by Guerlain lately. I don't know how to pronounce that properly, but I really love that fragrance. Anna Laura, thank you for being here. King Sword, I don't know what you deleted, but thank you for feeling like you had to. Anna, what's up? Thank you for being here. We saw Le Male Parfum in Cole's back room. Damage, can they probably throw it away? Well, hey, if you get a chance to smell it, I highly recommend you doing so. When you say eau de toilette, does that mean it's toilet water? Because I'm part French, and that's what it translates to. So no, that's not what that means. I'm not entirely sure why they call it that, to be honest with you. I remember looking up a long time ago, so I thought it was funny myself. But in reality, it's just what they call the lowest, well, almost. Eau de cologne is technically speaking the lowest concentration of fragrance to alcohol, but eau de toilette in most fragrances is going to be your basically typically lowest concentration you can get, then eau de parfum, and then parfum. Elixirs kind of count, but in and of themselves. His name is Sus too. Nice. I'll probably grab a bottle. Hey, nothing wrong with that. 100% recommend you go for it. Like I said, if you guys ever see anything in the chats that you feel like you need to, if you guys are mods and you ever see anything, any situations you feel like they got to go, I give you full permission to do so. Because I myself, I hate having to manage that stuff. So if anything ever starts getting carried away off the tracks, and probably for sure when I start doing my other content soon on this channel, I'm going to need you guys probably a lot. So I might actually try to schedule that with y'all ahead of time, like King Sword. Probably going to schedule with you ahead of time to do that. But I don't know if you saw my message, by the way, but I saw another YouTuber and I looked just literally like you. Like I was looking some content earlier and I was like, wow, that actually looks a lot like the photo of my buddy King Sword. But anyway, yeah, like I said, pretty much I've already kind of introduced the core subject of what you guys need to know as far as the name change and everything. So super happy to have you guys here. Now, if anybody does have any fragrance questions, I'm not going to stream for an excessively long time tonight because I do have other things me and my wife got to do and we got to get to work tomorrow. But I am more than happy to answer you guys some fragrance questions as it is right now. This one, and also, if you're new to the channel, we always keep it casual. I'm Andrew. Andrew Douglas Moon is what I'm going by. Andrew Douglas is my real first and middle name. Last name, keeping that private going forwards to anybody who doesn't already know what it is. But yeah, I always keep it casual, and anybody's welcome to come through here and ask questions. We are nobody fancy, nobody professionals here. We just like to have fun, like to talk about fragrance, life, and whatever else. But yeah, I love you guys, and I appreciate y'all stopping through. There's Eau de Fraiche, which is below EDC, and it's like 1 to 2% concentration. Yeah, that's definitely a level that I wouldn't possibly even go to myself. I like it, especially because of my eczema. So if you have any type of skin issues, something along those lines of psoriasis, eczema, and so forth, or just general dry skin, that's also why, even if you don't, they often recommend putting lotion on the skin before you apply fragrance so that it helps maintain the bonds of those oils. That's what happens when you spray perfumery. Regardless of the level of oil concentration, that alcohol is going to burn with your body heat and react. The higher the alcohol, obviously, the quicker it's going to release and burn away, which means the faster or less time it will take to deteriorate. So, when you use fragrances, using a little bit of lotion coat keeps that body heat, technically speaking, from breaking through and going ahead and burning it off with the dryness. For me personally, having eczema makes fragrances really difficult to maintain. So I like really dense and strong fragrances, which is why this one actually pretty surprised me. One of my other buddies who come through here a lot. So as you see, I've got Oud Silk Mood by Maison Francis Kurkdjian, one of my favorite fragrances of all time. This, on the other hand, who is this by? Fragrance World. So this bad boy is Barakat Satin Oud. This was like, I think, $15 or $20, something like that. I gotta admit, it's not supposed to be this. This is Oud Silk Mood. This is supposed to be Oud Satin Mood. But I gotta give this major credit. It actually performed a lot better than I thought it was going to, and it's a very, really nice, satiny, like it says the name, powdery type of feel. But it lasted all day on the spot that I put it, which is normally rare anyways for most fragrances. But for something that costed that cheap, I was pretty shocked. Uh, but I have yet to see a real fragrance with it. Yeah, if I ever see one myself, I'm not probably going to go down that road. That's Sam. He's a Catholic apologetic, but he is just another brother who's in the church. Yeah, it's so funny. Like I said, I saw that picture and I was like, wait a minute, I recognize that person. And when I saw the picture, I was like, there's no way that who's actually commenting on me from like a sneaky channel or nothing. But yeah, I watch him. Do you prefer Oriental perfumes? In a way, yeah. Or certain Oriental note profiles kind of speak to me a lot, just like how Alexandria 2 in and of itself is considered a very powerful Oriental style fragrance. And some of them can be a little bit rough to the nose when you first put your nose to them, but I find them to be just unique enough and appealing to me as a person. So I definitely think I like Orientals a lot. Although there was one fragrance that I tried at a store and the scent was gone within seconds. Oh yeah, no, there's an awful one. And Joe, you said why so much? Well, because I review fragrances. I always try to tell people you definitely have no excuse in the world if you're just a normal Joe to have all these. I personally love perfumery just like you probably do too, if you are a fragrance person. But I never ever ever want to encourage like just regular people who don't do reviews and stuff to get this many fragrances because it's completely unnecessary. It's hard making decisions in life anyways. The more choices you have, the harder it gets. So for most people, I would recommend you definitely spend time with fragrances, like blind buy as least as possible. Try to stay away from too many YouTubers and content creators out there pushing things on you, like buy this, because impulse is definitely a monster. So you only really need to get to know fragrances that feel connected to you as a person. And I say stick between that 7, if that at all. You can do fine with just 3 fragrances, but if you got to have more than that, I say stick between 7 to 15 max. It's just unnecessary to have too many. Captain Nemo, thank you so much for subscribing. Again, on my screen on this particular phone, it will fall, so I'm not going to touch it. So if I don't see your comment, feel free to comment again. That's totally fine. But what's your favorite creed? I don't like creeds as a whole, but I will say Silver Mountain Water and Milsom Imperial. I think that's how you say it. It's the gold bottle. Those are my 2 favorites. I think I like Silver Mountain Water probably the most, but it's just something about the note profiles. I really enjoy it. So if I had to choose a creed, but yeah, like I said, Captain Nemo, thank you for subscribing. Best all-time choice if you only had one choice. So if I only had one choice personally, I'm going to stick most likely with Le Male Le Parfum because I love iris. Rose is one of my absolute favorite notes. This one, on the other hand, is more iris leaning, but I prefer that in general for the way it's built with the vanillic profiles going underneath with a lavender blend. So to me, Le Male Le Parfum, if I personally could only have one fragrance forever, it kind of has most of what I want out of it, and that's what I would stick with. But I'd love to know yours. Anybody who comes through here, please, by all means, feel free to tell me your personal favorite fragrances. Or like if you could only choose one forever, what would you go with? What is that? Hot Lodge Vanilla Dunes. I'm sorry. I'll try to see if I can go back real quick without knocking the phone over. Where did you get it from, and how would you rate it? So personally, if I went on, who was it? Hot Lodge was selling through some retailer, I think from their actual official website is where I originally got my personal bottles. But I know you can get them from certain like trusted retailers if you check into them from like Amazon and stuff, depending on where you live. But yes, Hot Lodge Vanilla Dunes is actually a very, very solid take on the Altair DNA. Very good performance. It's an extrait de parfum. That doesn't necessarily always mean anything, especially with cheaper fragrances, but it is a really good fragrance for what it's worth. PM is a 10 out of 10. Absolutely, I agree with that too, Mick. Just saw you today. There is a Drakkar Blue that just came out. Heck yeah, thank you for letting me know about that. I'm going to have to check that out. Like I said earlier today, Drakkar Noir was one of the first fragrances that ever even got my nose on before. Luca Milano Artemis Midnight. I don't know about that one. As usual, you also hear me say a lot that if I personally haven't had experience with a fragrance, I don't want to be like I'm not here to sell you guys crap. I'm just here to talk about fragrances because I love them. So if you're looking for people to push junk on you, that's not going to happen. But I will answer your questions the best that I can, and you're welcome to tell me your thoughts and opinions too. That's what we're here for, a little community and stuff. So with that being said, if anybody sees a fragrance and I say I don't know, but you do know about it, you're more than welcome to share your opinions in the chat. But yeah, sorry, Jonathan, I haven't tried that one myself. Do you have Versace Dylan Blue? I do not anymore. I had it a long time ago. The black pepper notes in that particular one, like the new Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Capri and Love, wasn't really my style. Or excuse me, this one is my style. I'm sorry, with the black pepper notes. The Dylan Blue was not my style. I just didn't like it. It smelled a little too youthful for me, and my wife as well was not a big fan of it. And I don't know if you know this, but if you got a wife and you have a fragrance and she really doesn't like it, you can wear it on your off time. That's okay. I do that with I'm a Wash Interlude, but she really did not like that particular fragrance, so I gave it to her dad, and he ended up having rashes from it. Go figure. So, but it is a good fragrance. It's just not personally for me, and it's very, very good for like a younger audience. What is your favorite summer fragrance? Yeah, I definitely love light blue. Dolce & Gabbana light blue, especially the O Intense. That's my personal favorite of the bunch. But the new Capri in Love is a fantastic formulation. It's really good price too. But it's like, so it starts off black pepper with fig and then patchouli running underneath it. It's actually a pretty good fragrance for the summertime. So if you want to do something a little bit different. Gamer Boy 2006, what's up, buddy? Thank you for coming through here. Somebody earlier asked me about Cupid, and I have not smelled that personally myself. But if anybody in the chat has, and you've tried it out a little bit, I welcome you. If you do give opinions about fragrances in the chat, you're more than welcome if you've only smelled it just to say it smells nice. But I prefer if you only give really opinions about stuff if you've tried it enough that you can kind of give a more consistent thought to somebody, because most people really want to know about performance and things along those lines too. So if you do give thoughts in the chat, you're welcome to do so. If I haven't smelled something that you can help out, just try to keep it, only if you've really got experience with something. I just bought Club de Nuit EDP. I don't think I like it. What's your thoughts? So Miles, thank you for coming through and asking questions. I really appreciate you, buddy. All of you guys coming through, appreciate you so much. It means a lot to me. Because again, I just enjoy this. I enjoy hanging out with y'all and shooting the breeze and talking about just anything, including fragrances, but also life as a whole. As you can see, I'm a bit of a rambler. Sorry if I talk too fast for you guys. With that being said, I actually don't like the EDP of Club de Nuit myself. I've got the Pure Parfum edition. Something about it is just a bit more smooth for me. And I originally had the EDP and gave it away as a gift. Really don't like the EDT. It's just something to my nose, too technically synthetic. This one, the Pure Parfum, I don't have the special edition Parfum. I got the Pure Parfum of Clos de Nuit Intense, man. I personally think that one's my favorite of the bunch. What's up, buddy? Thank you coming through here, Redbeard. Kai, I'm an it. Kai, I don't know what you mean by that, but sure. You is my go-to. Honeysuckle. Okay, yeah. I have not heard that one personally. Why did Michael Jackson like 47-year-olds? I don't know, Xavier, but we don't allow inappropriate crap in my chat here. Actually, I'm just gonna start being a little bold about that stuff. So if you're a mod for me and you see anybody who seems like they're going in like an inappropriate direction, or I try to give people the benefit of the doubt, but I keep a family-friendly show going on here. Have you tried Polo Blue? I have, because there's 40. Oh yeah, no, we're not doing that. But anyway, especially as a dad, I don't allow that kind of stuff here. So just quick facts about me. I welcome all people of all walks of life here. I don't, I ain't throwing no discrimination on anybody, no matter who you are, what you believe, where you're from. With that being said, though, my name is Andrew. I'm a dad, I'm a husband, and I'm a Christian myself. So I have standards. So in that of itself, inappropriate stuff, don't allow that. You can talk about pretty much anything else you want. If you got stuff going on in your life, hey, let's talk about it. You need some advice? We'll see if we can all come together as a community and try to help each other out. Me personally, I'm 7 years sober as a couple of weeks ago. I'm here to help you guys if we can shoot the breeze and talk about stuff. If you're going through sobriety or like substance abuse issues, I'm more than happy to do that. In and of itself, this started as just purely a fragrance channel. I answer questions about that, but I'm building a community here where we can all hang out and help each other. If you want to start talking about like inappropriate crap, me or the mods can get you out of here, because I don't welcome it, because there have been lots of like teenagers and young people come through just to hang out, and I don't want them seeing stuff. I don't encourage that kind of situation in my chat. So just letting that be known. If you do that, you're out. Other than that, you're all welcome. Also, just letting this be known, I also try to keep out political stuff. So again, whatever you believe, all that junk, totally welcome here. Not really going to encourage people though arguing about or getting into like politics and stuff. With that being said, I have tried Polo Blue. It's a nice fragrance, $8 at Walmart. I don't know what you're talking about there, buddy, but sure. But we about to get back into it real fast. What summer perfume for graduation? Ooh, that's a good one. To be honest with you, want to really stand out at graduation? I am going to gear shift you back to the old Le Beau Le Parfum because that one is definitely very strong, very good. If you want to be a little bit more subtle, you can go with the one I got behind it, the Paradise Garden Edition. But I think that's actually a really fantastic choice. If you're younger, you don't got a whole lot of money to spend. It's not as perfectly good, but it's still close enough. You can get Hod Lodge's Island. So just type in KHAD and then put in Island. It's good enough. It will definitely get you there for like a really good summer fragrance. Or Versace's Eros Energy. Good choice. Andrew, what's the shelf life of cologne? Do they expire? So just throwing this out there. Shelf lives for colognes. I've explained this a lot, but I want to try to make this as like more summarized and clear as I can. So everything you see here, right? They will last an exceptionally long time, especially if you keep them out of direct sunlight and try to keep them away from humidity. Fragrance will go and go and go. With that being said, the top notes is what deteriorates primarily and especially first. So I don't know, it just depends on the fragrance and its composition and the type of materials and quality of what was made. But in and of itself, you will definitely find yourself a fragrance lasting for a very long time, the middle and especially the base notes. And it will honestly, in some degrees, get stronger as well. It's called maceration, but those top notes will burn away. So that's technically what happens when it kind of expires. And in certain cases, depending on the materials, but it really depends on, again, the quality of the materials, some of them kind of develop like an almost vinegary type of fragrance at first when they open up if they have expired. Diego, what's up, buddy? Appreciate you coming through here. I won't take a lot of your time. Hey, you're more than welcome to do so, buddy. If you don't mind, would it be cool to give you a quick email at South Point to a quick email at some point just to discuss a couple of my struggles? Hey, dude, you're 100% welcome to do that. Like I said, I'm not always available to help everybody just as much as possible, but I do try to when I can. If you got any questions just about life stuff, please feel free to do so. Find me on Instagram or as well, if you see my email, whatever, please. I prefer you probably if you can do Instagram, but if not, definitely do the business email. So that way, because I've started getting like a lot of crazy spam through the email. But if you ever got stuff that you really want to talk about, you are more than welcome to find me on there on Instagram or through the email and just send me whatever you need to. And as I can, the reason I prefer you go to the Instagram thing is because I do voice chats as responses because I got arthritis. I don't like typing. So if you guys ever need any help, please, by all means, send me a message on there. I can't promise you I can do a lot, but I will try my best to talk with you guys, just like my buddy Nick here. Like, there's conversations I look forward to having. So I will try. My top favorite fragrance are Eros, Aqua de Joe Chrome, and Versace Dylan Blue. Hey, man, that's not bad. Good choices right there. And also, yes, Diego, we're all happy to see you here, buddy. I appreciate you coming through. God bless you, man. But for sure, Versace Eros Parfum is actually one of my favorite fragrances of all time. It is fantastic. It is strong. It's very powerful with that bergamot and woodsy feel, that little vanilla vibe going on in there. So I love it. And I appreciate all you guys coming through here. Like I said, as usual, you are more than welcome to ask me fragrance questions. I'm just doing a little bit update for all my friends who are normal people to records, who are normal people to the channel. So I'm talking a little bit faster than usual because today has definitely been a busy day. So we're going to be going to bed. Me and my wife are going to be going to bed pretty soon. But what's up, buddy? Thank you for being here, Montrese. I appreciate you coming through so much. But yeah, ask questions. Feel free, fire away. But I just want to do a little bit of update. Like I said, originally this was the Douglas Moon Fragrance channel. So that's what I've been doing under that for a long time. But with the way that the algorithm kind of dipped out on me on my normal review videos for the past month and a half, I thought, you know what? I can kind of take this time to gear shift it, doing things I really want to do anyways, which is I love fragrances and I want to keep doing fragrance reviews, and that's not going to stop. Doing like as well fragrance streams ain't going to quit. But I'm very passionate about my faith, my beliefs, my life journey. I'm very passionate about the times I've got to talk with you guys who are struggling with, like, again, substance abuse and stuff and sobriety. And again, it's personally somebody who's been sober all this time. For me, before I got sober, the thing that I didn't like was like going to events and places where it was just a bunch of people who couldn't understand what I was going through. So if I can ever be that, or if anybody here in this community can be that for each other, I want to be a place where we help each other out. So if you want to join that, we're all here in this together. And like I said, ain't nobody paying me to do this. So I get to just hang out with you guys and have a good time. By the way, this is my doofy new light that I got for this channel. And it definitely sucks when I have a phone that's like falling over. So I guess I'm going to have to be corny and get a tripod. But yeah, you guys are welcome to talk about whatever you want. I'm just hanging out with y'all, having a nice time. Is La Mala Parfum any good for younger folks? Actually, it is. So, like I said, very strong on the iris, very strong on that lavender blend going in between it with the vanillic compounds at the base. So, for me, it's distinct. It's nice. I use the word regal for certain fragrances. This one's not so much that because it's missing a little bit of that royalty, but it does have a lot of luxurious quality running through it. But it doesn't smell old. So, like, whereas Oud Silk Mood, I would recommend to a lot of people, but mostly 25 and up. It's one of my favorites, one of my top 4 favorites. But for me personally, something like Le Male Le Parfum, I could recommend that to anybody, even like a 15-year-old, because it is a little bit older for you there. It's geared towards like 23 maybe and up on a regular basis. But there's something about it. It's definitely got that factor that really go well for you, buddy. New bottles, Hyper Bins, Island Bins. I haven't smelled any of those. I don't get enough love. We'll see a review of them in the future. Well, hey, see, Senor, that's a fun name. Definitely try to add those to the list if I can help you out in any kind of way. It's going to be a while before I purchase any new actual fragrances to review because, like I said, I buy all these myself. Pretty much everything you're going to see me do, any of the books, historical texts we're going to go through, I buy that myself. All these fragrances, I buy that myself. So again, I'm not getting paid to do this, and I'm not getting sponsored by anyone, and I don't want to be sponsored by anyone. I enjoy doing this, honestly. So with that being said, if I don't have something yet, I will try to add it to this list, but the list has been growing during these streams. So it will be a while, but I will try to get to it at some point for you when I can. What Tom Ford parfum would you recommend for a fresh masculine scent? That's perfect. Fresh masculine Tom Ford scent, 100% going to be Ombre Leather parfum. This is my favorite of the entire bunch. I love this one so much. It's very just bright leather sandalwood, but it's not cheap or offensive. And everybody that I have shown this to actually does enjoy it. So I think it's a fantastic fragrance, and it does last very well as like a good skin scent. I'm kind of wary of people that have neck tattoos. Would that be an issue with buying something from you? So first and foremost, I definitely appreciate you. You know, everybody's got their own backgrounds, their upbringings and stuff, and their own opinions. So I don't sell anything anyways. I don't do that. I'm not a salesperson. None of these things that I have here are for sale. That's not why I do streaming. I just love fragrances. I do reviews and I also answer people's questions. And we just have kind of a community here. We all hang out. We talk about faith. We talk about life, different belief systems and stuff, and then fragrances. So yeah, I don't sell anything. And that's how I try to keep it is just, telling you guys straight answers on stuff because there are too many people who are salesmen just pushing crap on you. So that's what I'm here for, just to be honest with you. But yeah, I don't, yeah, nothing purchased to come in here. How many sprays should I spray of Le Male Elixir? Be careful with that one. If I go to an event around 5 to 8 hours, it won't take much for it to last that long anyway. I would say do the usual. If you're going to do an event like that, I would say keep it easy because it is a very strong fragrance. But just do the old pulse points on the neck. So dink, dink, and then back of the neck. If you'd like to, you could do the full 5. So dink, 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 and then do the 2 shoulders. Give it that breeze coming off of you. But definitely you could potentially just get away with either doing both shoulders or just both pulse points. It's a strong fragrance. So if you're going to a nice event and you don't want to be too strong, something like that. And I appreciate you guys asking questions, by the way. Thank you for the response. They're my highest complimented fragrances. Heck yeah. I really, really want to get Aaron Terrence Hughes fragrances and Argos myself, but I can't get Aaron Terrence Hughes here. I've even tried to message the guy. Hey, I know he's a busy dude. I've tried to message him on Instagram a couple times because I really want to see if I can find a way to get his fragrances, but he hasn't read my messages. Totally okay. Like I said, I know he's busy and he don't know who I am. But if you guys who do live in the UK or something like that, get your hands on Aaron Terrence Hughes fragrances. If we can ever work something out, message me on Instagram, something like that. It's the same name that you see here, Andrew Douglas Moon. So find me on there because I'd love to try to work something out at some point and see if I can get my hands on him because I've wanted to get his stuff for a long time. With that being said, do you think that you have to wear a suit for more of the Tom Ford fragrances? You don't have to, but I will say they lean towards special event fragrances, which, by the way, is what a lot of people get wrong about Tom Ford. They're very expensive, 100%. How should I say this? This is going to sound rude, but it's the truth. They're not for you. Perfumery is designed for all different reasons, and price tag doesn't necessarily match what you think it does. A lot of people think price tag equals massive performance. That's not really the case. Certain things are designed for specific reasons to be big performers. In perfumery, the person behind it and the artist behind it also often makes things for certain types of people, for certain types of occasions. And Tom Ford fragrances, especially a lot of the private batch line, they're made literally for people who got money or people who are going to events where they're going to be dressed nice, who also who want to smell very nice and luxurious, but don't want to just be reeking off of them and lasting extremely long times and being very overwhelming. So a lot of people do complain about Tom Ford fragrances for not just being these absolute monsters. In and of themselves, though, a lot of them weren't meant to be. Again, I ain't getting paid for this crap. Tom Ford, I don't even think sponsors people. I just want to help you educate you guys a little bit. So not all the time is that the case, but that is what happens very often. People just don't quite get it. What do you think of Bulgari fragrances? I think they're pretty good. They're not my style. I think they're good for younger audiences, but anybody can wear whatever you want. When I give my opinion, I don't mean to offend you guys in any way, shape, or form. It's just I'm telling you, in general, I think Bulgaris are a little bit that way. But hey, they're great fragrances. Fragrance Marketplace has Aaron Terrence Hughes. Huh. I just haven't, I don't know. I guess I'm not seeing that. When I look it up, I keep seeing things. I see some apps that seem like people are using like eBaying his fragrances, but I'm really scared. Don't trust that. And especially some of them are charging more than what he personally would charge if they were selling here, like through Max Aroma, if they were restocked. So I'm being careful. But if I can find them, if somebody can send me a link to them, then I definitely would try to go for some. It's a fragrance. Okay, I'll try to check that out. Uh-oh. I missed what you said. Should I buy fragrances off Amazon, for example? It depends what they are. Certain dupes and cheaper fragrances, I would say yes. By the way, thank you, M3, for saying that. I really appreciate you very much. Like, seriously, God bless y'all, dude. Thank y'all for even coming through. It means a lot to me, and I appreciate you. Thank you, Gabriel, for letting me know it's a fragrance marketplace. So I definitely have to check that out. But seriously, I appreciate y'all so much for popping through here. It means a lot to me. Without you guys, there's no point in me even doing this. But no, Amazon, I'd be careful. Only for like dupes and cheapies. I have used it myself, but I've also been screwed a few times. So with more expensive fragrances, I probably wouldn't necessarily trust it. What's your performance with Ebon Fume? So Ebon Fume definitely is one of those fragrances that, for me, it's pretty strong. When I've used this on my skin, that's when I test stuff. Normally, the first couple of times I test it before I do an honest review is I use it straight up skin. Ebon Fume for me is one of the few Tom Fords that actually does have good performance. Now, don't get me wrong, 6 months to like 2 years from now, they could definitely shift and change. But as this formulation, as it's coming out at this moment, it is a good performer. It's obviously an eau de parfum, but so far, especially because of the compounds behind it and the smokiness and richness to it, I got, I think, maybe about 8 or so hours of decent skin scent with this one. But again, that doesn't happen with every Tom Ford. Certain ones, like Tobacco Vanille, last exceptionally well. This one in particular, though, it is a good new one. Oud Wood, on the other hand, like I said, is one of the ones that's just been so, it just doesn't work. Andrew, sorry. Okay, so good. If you could choose one fragrance for the rest of your life, what would that be? So people have asked this a lot. I know handfuls of you guys who are like our usuals here probably know what the answer is, but I'm gonna go ahead and tell you anyway. That would be Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Mal Le Parfum. It's just my absolute favorite, and I love it. I can never get it. What did I put on this morning? You know what? I forgot. Okay, so very, very early this morning, like 4:30 a.m., I put on the Paragon by Initio. Yeah, it's completely gone. Obviously, though, it's been a really long time. So as you can imagine, it's been like, what is that? I don't even know how many hours, but I love, love, love smelling this fragrance. I only get 4 to 5 hours at most. Wish it lasted longer. Which fragrance are you talking about? Are you talking about the Ebon Fume? But yeah, for that one, me personally, like I said, I got a really good performance out of it on my skin. And I got like my bottle, I bought it from Nordstrom, I think it was, but definitely it's a really good fragrance. Have you tried Polo 67? I have not. I got a friend who owns that, but he hasn't worn it yet. So I'm really interested in getting my nose on it because I'm sure it's pretty good. I think there's like a new Polo, is it there? I can't remember. I feel like somebody said something about that the other day. If there is, I'd like to try that out. They're not my style of perfumery, but they're not bad. Yeah, Ebon Fume. So yeah, Ebon Fume, like I said, it does pretty good on my skin personally. But then again, I guess everybody's a little bit different, and it could depend. We all know Tom Ford doesn't have consistency. It could very well be the batch that you got. Unfortunately, that's why I don't steer people towards Tom Ford very often. But like I said, in and of itself, they're made for what they're made for. Like you mentioned, I think the last one because of the resins of wood. Yeah, absolutely. You would think so, but you never can be for sure. Also, by the way, if you guys are willing to go check it out, anybody who's been enjoying hanging out with me and talking, if you want to go support, I did post a review today of Guisado's Ambassador versus Guisado's Ambassador Intense. Very good fragrances. Just going to go ahead and tell you ahead of time. But I kind of compared or contrasted them and said whether or not you should have both or not. But it's very fantastic fragrances. So if you guys want to help me out, please go check them out. Best low-cost, long-lasting perfume. Well, that's kind of up to exactly the taste that you're into, like what kind of fragrances you're going for. So if you want something that is more like the Altair by Parfums de Marly, so like a nice vanilla pod floral type of fragrance, definitely get Sensual Obsessions scent, like you smell Sensual Obsessions, definitely the Eagle Star, or Hod Lodge's Vanilla Dunes. Very good extrait de parfum as far as that's concerned. If you need me to hold it up again, I'll do that for you. And also by Hod Lodge, they've got their Island, which is a Le Beau de Parfum edition. And then, or you can get Liquid Brune as well. Oud Maracuja's take Azur Oud by French Avenue. So if you're looking for something that lasts really well and has a decent price, Latafa, Hamra, stuff like that, that's kind of going to be where I'm going to gear shift you towards. Do you have a summer daily driver? So at this moment, I haven't really picked one for sure just yet because I've been still testing things out for reviews each day. So kind of all over the place. But this is going to be boring for you technically because this isn't going to be for most of you guys. But Rose is Greedy, which is one of my favorite little nice just garden rose fragrances. It's something I like to just throw on. It's a fantastic, one of my favorite rose fragrances I've ever smelled. And it's also a really good price range. So I kind of throw this on just to have every day to pop on for myself. And or Ombre Leather Parfum by Tom Ford. That's kind of what I go for if I just want a really good, nice, fresh, quick summer fragrance. Or again, Hod Lodge's Island or Le Beau de Parfum. And then also Light Blue Intense by Dolce & Gabbana. Those are kind of my typical summer days. Let's see here. Some people like loud fragrances and others prefer more subtle. That is absolutely true, brother. What do you think about after 9 p.m.? So people have asked me about this a lot, and I will definitely say that I think I respect it for people's particular taste and choice because I've seen a lot of people come through here and like it, but I don't personally like it all that much. It's decent. It's very strong for the price point that you pay, but it's just not my personal taste. It smells youthful and just a little too synthetically youthful for me personally. I'm a little worried about overspraying certain fragrances like Stronger With You Absolute and Lamel Elixir. How many sprays should I do? So for me personally, with all the ones that you just suggested, it depends on the fragrance and where you're going. But for the most part, I normally do 5 sprays. Like stick around 5 sprays. If you do both pulse points in the back of the neck and both shoulders, you should be good. Now, if you're in an enclosed space, just do the pulse points. Maybe do just the shoulders instead if you'd like to be a little bit more radiant for a longer period of time. But if you want to be more chill, probably stick with just the pulse points in the back of the neck would be helpful for you. 3 sprays for elixirs tops, only behind the ears and the neck. Very good recommendation. Best, I'm thinking you meant JPG or GPJ, I'm not sure, but blazing. Definitely best for myself personally would be Le Mal Le Parfum or the Elixir, and then Le Beau Le Parfum or the Paradise Garden. Those are really good ones. But yeah, like I said, I wasn't planning on doing this too very long. We are about to go to sleep, but I really appreciate you guys having come through. You're more than welcome to ask a few more questions, but as you can imagine, very shortly we're going to gear shift into the closing prayer for the evening. Just picked up Bad Boy Cobalt, and so any thoughts? First of all, that's a fun name you got there, Japan. How do you say that? Jagesta? That's a fun name right there. So with that being said, for your age, you picked up some decent fragrances, to be completely honest with you. I think both of them are good. I prefer the YSL, but Cobalt as well. I just rechecked it out again the other day when I went to Sephora. There's actually really good choices you pick for your age range, and I got to give mad support for that. Yeah, I'm already laying down for tomorrow at the asphalt plant. Oh boy, that's going to be a doozy. Yeah, my buddy here at Redbeard's like one of the hardest workers, so I'm not being sarcastic or anything. Seriously, he works really hard doing what he does. I got to give super support. I'm going to go get orders fulfilled tomorrow at a place where we supply stuff for people who make candles. So I'm going to be surrounded by fragrances, wax, jars, and junk like that. My buddy over here is on the other hand going back straight up. Don't get me wrong, I do like a lot of physical labor, but this dude, back-breaking stuff right here. So much love to you, buddy, and God bless you. I hope you get you some good rest tonight. Like I said, going forward, you earn my sub. You do these lives often. Hey, man, thank you for popping through. I might lose your sub with what I'm about to say. If not, that's cool, too. But where could I find the Island fragrance? Hod Lodge Island. You can find it. That one I will say you can trust through Amazon. So if you can just look up Hod Lodge Island, it should pop up. If you want me to spell it real quick, Khadlaj. It's pronounced the K silent because it's Middle Eastern. It's Hod Lodge Island. So definitely look it up on there and you can get it for a good price or straight from their website, but a little bit more expensive. But just real quick, like I was going to say, yeah, so I changed the name of the channel. I did a little bit of a poll just to see what people were thinking. And ultimately, I kind of knew where I wanted to go. And it's funny because I prayed about it before I posted the thing in the first place. And what I felt in my heart I wanted to do, especially because I always introduce myself by my name Andrew anyway, is I was like, well, maybe Andrew Douglas Moon will be fun. Instead, Douglas Moon Fragrance, because I thought it sounded nice, and it did sound nice, but it was hard to remember like that's what I was going by. So I'm just so used to obviously being going by my name. People sometimes call me Drew, but you can call me whatever you want. But again, my name's Andrew. But I was like, well, since I'm going to talk about other stuff than just fragrance as well on this channel, and I don't want to confuse people because I have already done streams that's purely just about life, sobriety, and faith, like being there with people and just talking, hanging out with everybody, and just general family streams too. Since I've already done that, and a handful of people come through to hang out, and a few of them were kind of confused anyways during the comments because of the fragrance stuff. I was like, hey, I can do it all and just have fun. And at the end of the day, if I'm really going to grow a community and a channel here, uh, I'd rather it be about something I love than and about everything that I love and not just specifically one thing, right? Because if I ever somehow get to have a career doing this and get to keep hanging out with you guys for like as long as y'all stick around, I would just, like I said, rather it be just fully me and not just like one piece of me. I know that's not great for an algorithm, but I really don't care. So to answer my buddy who asked about my live streams, typically Wednesday mornings, if I can. If not, definitely Wednesday evenings, but I try to stick to Wednesday morning to evening. I might start doing like I did today, like random evenings during the week, but I'm off Wednesdays in particular. And I'm also going to be doing Sundays as well. So try to do Sunday mornings if I can, Sunday evenings, something along those lines. So it can be a little sporadic, but Wednesdays for sure, and Sundays usually for sure is how I'm going to be streaming. I don't know much about the island fragrance, but does the Green Island smell very familiar to Le Beau Parfum? It smells basically just like it, except there's mild. A lot of times in a lot of dupes and clones, you will have like a little something missing. It smells super similar, but there's always going to be that little bit of like pizzazz due to just the overall like quality of materials. Not always. I will say Vanilla Dunes or Eagle Star covering the Altair, they did it perfectly. But at the end of the day, Hodlodge Island and most of the other ones, they're just kind of like very close, like Shiaka by Hodlodge, who's supposed to be a Amouage Reflections tape. It's always missing just a little bit of oomph, but it's still worth it for sure. And again, if you're new here, sorry for over explaining. It's just kind of what I do. Nice collection. What's your favorite day summer scent? Favorite day summer scent? I'm probably going to have to, again, do the good old Eros Energy or Le Beau Le Parfum by Jean Paul Gaultier. Really good summer fragrances as well. Club de Nuit Sillage, which is a take on Silver Mountain Water. I would go Silver Mountain Water by Creed. It is a fantastic fragrance, but we all know that overall the performance of those are not the best. Okay, so those are ones I really love. My absolute favorite going to go for is Roses Greedy by Mancera, but that's just because I really love rose fragrances. I'm known in Aether, the Prum Rose is missing. It is, yeah. That's really what you kind of run into with these a lot of times. By the way, Brandon, thank you for asking. Appreciate you stopping through. Favorite summer freshie? Favorite summer freshie? Just a straight up summer freshie. Right this moment, it's definitely Paradise Garden that I got back there. Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Beau Paradise Garden, just because it's very nice and beautiful and fresh. You ever smelled Cherry Cherry? I have not. I have not smelled the Cherry Cherry yet. There's a handful more Manceras that I want to start getting my nose on because they are fantastic. Yeah, now Paradise Garden is off the chain. Let me see. I think I missed the question. What is a good cheap cologne for everyday use in a normal size bottle? Definitely a good cheap one for everyday use. Probably going to keep sending you at this point because it is summertime as well. I am going to keep recommending Hodlodge Island. Again, I'm not the biggest dude on dupes, but if people ask for like a cheap everyday use fragrance, I'll probably send you down that way. If you want to be a little bit different now for 40 bucks, if you want to be a little bit different and stand out, definitely, it's a stupid bottle, I know, dumb name, but Machino's Toy Boy, very, very good fragrance. It's pear, it's cucumber, and that sounds strange, pear, cucumber, and rose, but it actually works exceptionally well. Best site for purchasing? Real quick, how close is Sillage versus Supremacy in Heaven? Technically, I kind of like Sillage myself. Just me personally, I really like Sillage. Just because it's, to me, a little bit better performance, but that's just me. I gotta head out. Oh yeah, best site for purchasing. Other people recommend Joma Shop. Not bad. I personally use fragrancenet.com is where I used to get all my stuff on discounters. And hey, Blackout VR, thank you for being here. Appreciate you for subscribing. I really do mean that. Thank you so much. So thank you for popping through, and like good night, buddy. God bless you. I love Eros Energy. A lot of people hate on it. By the way, I apologize if you guys heard me fart. It's late, dude. I'm 34. I'm 32. I do what I got to do. Look at me. I about almost aged myself there. Hey, Quentin, thank you for popping through. I do not have Nautica Voyage. I used to, but I don't have any, just like I used to have Chrome Mazzaro. Good fragrances, but I don't have any bottles at this point because they're nice. They're classic, but they're just not my style. Yeah, Eros Energy, it's much more of a sweet, bright candy flavor to me. Like, it's not cheap smelling, but it definitely has more of a brightness to it than Creed Aventus. I see where it's coming from. It is in that same DNA style, but I prefer it personally. I have it. I put it on for bed, Nautica Voyage. Yeah, Redbeard also. If you guys come through here, you see Redbeard, Kingsword, handfuls of other people. You can definitely trust their opinions. I love having a community of people here where if ever, like again, if there's something I don't know, I love you guys being able to help each other out too. Do you have a Zara? I don't at this point. No, I don't. What's your opinion on Replica by the Fireplace? I'm not a huge Maison Margiela fan. I don't like the replicas too much, mostly just because I'm a little sucker for performance. But I also don't really like their profiles. I know there's some handful of my buddies in here in the chat who are big fans of them. And if you like them, hey, ain't nothing wrong with that, to each their own. They're just not my personal style. But fragrance is subjective. Still waiting for delivery from Joma Shop, taking over 2 weeks. Fragrance Net normally takes about a couple days to a week. Like, they definitely ship within 24 hours to 48 hours. And then it normally has taken about 3 to 4 days, sometimes a full week for something to arrive, but normally pretty good. Is there Slumber Shop? I do not, Joe, thank you for asking. I do not have 9 p.m. So I used to have it. Not a big fan of it, though, personally. I'd want the Real Thing by the Fireplace. You want to go hang out by the fireplace? Is that what you want? Have you tried Ultramale? I sure have tried Ultramale. It's a good fragrance. It's the one Jean Paul Gaultier that I like, but don't want to own because it's a little too youthful for me personally. You'll hear me say that though. You got Versace colognes? I sure do. I have a handful of them. I've got Eros Flame, Eros Parfum. I used to have the Eau de Toilette and the Eau de Parfum, and I've got Eros Energy, and they're some of my favorites. Do you have Joe? I do not have Aqua de Joe, buddy. But thank you for coming by and asking anyway. But yeah, Jumbo Shop's just okay. That's what I heard. Man, I do miss the fall up there for that. Yeah, got to do a little bit of that snuggling by the fireplace. I keep forgetting in our new house that we just moved into. Like literally, me and my wife walk by every day, and I keep forgetting that we have the little like electric fireplace thingy. So I'm gonna have to definitely like crank that bad boy up and just pop by and make some Christmas cards this year for you guys. Is Dolce & Gabbana Summer Vibes any good? It is. It is a pretty decent fragrance. It's not my personal style straight up, though. I much prefer, again, the light blue O Intense. I know for you guys who are around here often, I say that a lot, but I personally prefer it. My brother has that one. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Yeah, dude, snuggling and farting. When you get older, that's kind of like, if anybody ever really wants to know, I pretend it's because I'm a fragrance reviewer. I say that's why I have all these. But in reality, it's because I got irritable bowel disease and I fart all the time. I'm sorry, but that is why I really have these. And it takes a lot to cover that up, dude. So at the end of the day, I'm sorry. As a matter of fact, I feel like at some point or another, very, very soon, I'm going to step on a frog. Uh-oh. Whoops, my bad. Sorry about that. Hey, listen, it's that kind of night we're having here, you guys. we're just hanging out, getting gassy. But no, seriously, that was real, and that is why I have to have all these fragrances around. Where's your shirt from? I personally get all my shirts from Hollister. They're cheaper, they're decent, they last a long time, and I just got it. I got way too many of them. It looks like I'm a cartoon character because I wear the same color shirts almost every day. It's just because I bought a whole. I swear I washed my clothes. I just got a whole bunch of the same thing. I think that was a duck. Straight up stepped on the duck, buddy. I just get all my clothes from TJ Maxx. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. But yeah, I love me some Hollister, dude. That was a barking spider. Favorite aquatic? Personally, I'm gonna have to continue to go with straight up the Paradise Garden by Jean Paul Gaultier. It's fantastic. Yeah, I'm surprised nobody made any stupid pink eye jokes during that thing because I myself was just thinking I might as well crack one. But like at the end of the day, do you live stream this morning? I sure did. I sure did live stream this morning, but it was mostly because I was getting everybody's opinions about what I'm going to be doing on the channel. Because like I said, to anybody who's popping through here, I do the fragrance stuff. I do streams like this very often, and I'm going to continue to do fragrance content and reviews. But I definitely just want to start also expanding other of my passions on this channel. And I don't expect a lot of people to come through for them, but I want to do them anyway because they're important to me. So again, I'm going to start doing actual scholarly level Bible studies, getting you guys into some deeper biblical history information. But as a Christian, not just that, I welcome all people here to my page as well and talk about whatever, no discrimination, and not trying to force beliefs on anybody. It's just for the sake of, if you're interested in that kind of stuff, you're going to be welcome when I do those videos and those streams to come through, to listen, to learn, to ask questions. No debating or any of that kind of crap. Just anybody's welcome to do that. I'm also going to do the same thing with the Hindu texts, like the Bhagavad Gita. I'm going to do the same thing when it comes to the Quran at some point, kind of walking people through, because there's way too many people who like to bash each other's religions without having any idea what they actually believe. Also, way too many religious people like to go, "Hey, you took that out of context," and you're like, "Oh, but you did the same thing to me." So I kind of thought, hey, I've been studying this stuff for an extremely long time. I might even feature some of my scholar friends and have like real discussions, podcast style. But in and of itself, I'm going to do that from time to time. And like I said, I don't expect a lot of people to hang around for that kind of stuff. So mostly you guys are going to be here for the fragrant stuff, I'm sure. But since I can do what I want on my channel, and some of you have been interested in that kind of stuff, I thought we'd do it. I've even considered going back like my old ministry I used to do and having some Sunday service time for you guys who particularly don't have a church you belong to. I used to do that kind of stuff. I used to speak at churches, and it was great, but I haven't done it in a long time. So, hey, any good first-time fragrances for a first-time wearer? Absolutely. I'll get right back to you in a second, Keller. I think it's great to combine faith and fragrance. Hey, I appreciate that. What's cooking in here? Lots of farts. I'm very gassy, but had literally had chili dogs not long ago, and they're finding their way back aggressively. But definitely appreciate you stopping through. And real quick, so you said great fragrances for somebody just starting out. By the way, I have not tried, I don't have a super favorite cherry fragrance other than Lost Cherry back here by Tom Ford. But, excuse me, good fragrance for somebody starting out. I'm probably going to send you to Versace Eros, get the Parfum. So it might not make a lot of sense actually, since you're just starting out. You don't have to get this big of a bottle. But Versace Eros, and then literally, I know it's not perfume, type in Parfum. So if it's going to be your first fragrance, that's going to be very nice and strong and distinct compared to what a lot of people get, the EDT. So I don't want to bog you down with that kind of stuff if it is your first fragrance. So I'm just saying Versace Eros Parfum or Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Intense. So for a first fragrance, those are some really good options for you to get yourself started. And no, Dan, I don't personally sell fragrances. I just talk about them. But yeah, Keller, that's definitely some good ones to get you going. There's plenty more we can talk about too, but kind of need to get a feel for maybe what type of fragrance you want to go for. But yeah, I don't sell fragrance. Virgin Island Water by Creed, I'm assuming. No, I have not personally. But yeah, thank you, Keller, for asking questions. It always means the world to me when people pop through and have things to ask. So I thank y'all. And again, when I do my faith-based videos, I do welcome and encourage people to ask questions. Just a heads up though, when I do them, it won't start off quite like these ones do. Because when I'm going through the reading sections, when I have to focus on the reading parts, I probably won't be asking too many or answering too many questions. So you guys who are my mods, if you are able to pop in during those times, I'd really appreciate it if you could maybe kind of moderate. If people start acting stupid, help kind of get that out of there just in case to keep it family friendly. So if any of you have the time when those are happening, I'll try if I can to let you know ahead of time when I'm going to do them. So definitely require some help if I can get it during that time. I might have to add more people to be mods during those times, but yeah, just let you know. Appreciate the informative stream. Hey, I appreciate you being here, buddy. What does Silver Mountain water smell like? It smells like melon with green tea vibes going on. So, but yeah, no, thank you so much for being here. And it means the world to me to even stop through and watch what I do. What's your favorite fragrance? That would be Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Mal Le Parfum. It's the black version, Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Mal. This is my personal favorite fragrance of the bunch. I also love Naxos by Xerjoff, Oud Silk Mood by Maison Francis Kirkgime, definitely. But no, I appreciate you guys. So as my mods, like I said, that's really what I'm going to need you for. When I'm doing those Bible study streams, which I'm going to do actually really soon, I think my first one is going to do my gear shift I'm going to go with from now on is probably do the studies on Wednesday mornings and then do the actual fragrance streams Wednesday evenings. And then as well on Sundays, I'm going to try to do some study time. So the very first one we're going to get into, just a fun fact, let you guys know real quick. And I will continue to answer you guys' questions real fast. Just a sidebar. The first one we're going to get into is going to be an actual introduction to the Hebrew Bible. So we're starting at the very beginning and also an introduction to the Bible as a whole. So this is going to be dense information. It's not going to be evangelizing, that type of stuff. It's not going to be pushing theology on people. It is going to be from a blend of theological and also secular scholarship, the information I'm going to be teaching you guys. But So just letting you know, I am a Christian, but it's not the stuff I'm going to be starting off with is going to be very dense and a little bit difficult for some people to maybe process. So just understand, you don't have to believe the things I talk about, but you do have to understand this is where it's at this point. Just throwing this out there. So stuff I'm super passionate about, you're going to see that come out of me a lot when we start doing those Bible studies. Real quick, I prefer Greenly between the two, to be honest with you. I may pop in. Remember, I'm usually busy during the morning. Hey, absolutely nothing wrong with that, though. I'll try to see depending on when I can do it. So let me know what time on Wednesday might be better for you, and I'll see if I can make it around that time. But Keller, hey, God bless you, buddy. I really appreciate you. What times are your streams scheduled for? That's what I'm trying to actually figure out at this point. So I'm going to see how I can kind of manage it, because the only real thing I'm going to need help with is, again, mods. So definitely people I can trust to help watch out. Because when I do family friendly streams, which is pretty much all my streams, but you guys, I kind of can help out a little bit more during these evening streams. But when I definitely do the faith-based streams and stuff, I'm gonna be respectful to everybody. So I'm not welcoming people acting stupid and saying inappropriate stuff during that time. But yeah, I'm all over the place. Got to head out. Hey, God bless you, brother. Good night. I can wake up a bit early Monday through Thursday to help in the mornings. Definitely. By the way, Jupe, not a big fan, but that is a super classic fragrance, and I appreciate you, Mickey Mouse, for first of all being Mickey Mouse. Second of all, for bringing that up. That's awesome. But TT Fragrance, have a good night, man. I hope you get you some good sleep. But yeah, also real quick, to anybody who's new here, if it drives you crazy that I have to talk really fast, believe me, this is how I think, but also trying to keep up with people's comments can be a little tough, but I try my best because I really do appreciate every single person that pops through here and wants to ask or talk about pretty much anything. So I'm here for you. I can help mod if needed. Hey, that means a lot to me. You've been super respectful so far. That's really the only qualification for somebody to become a mod on this channel, is to be somebody I can see is respectful, somebody who just wants to interact and actually become buddies here. So if that's you, you are welcome to the job. Hey, I got an 80s fragrance. Ooh, I've never even heard of that one before. Hey, I'm gonna have to check that out. King Sword, then I definitely appreciate that. So I totally respect that. That actually helps me, knowing you guys' schedules as well. I don't know if any of you guys would ever be willing to do this, but since I found out that I can go live with other channels, if anybody else ever wants to like do a double stream and just hang out and shoot the breeze, that'd be fun too. If anybody's ever got anything you might want to talk about with me and stuff, I'm totally down with that. As you can see, I like to talk. So yeah, it is a Southern thing. Yeah, that's me, I suppose. Hey, you know what? Just throwing this out there, I feel like I can definitely count on you. I'm gonna do it right now, buddy. You are officially added as a standard mod, so you can help me delete stupid comments, people being inappropriate. I don't need you guys to just delete any old thing, just stuff that feels like it's going down the wrong road. We'll get that out of here. But yeah, no, thank you so much for being here, dude. Like I said, anybody who's willing to help me keep out the crap. So Wednesday morning, if I can, I'm not entirely sure just yet what time for sure, but maybe around 9 o'clock, something along those lines. Maybe around between 8 to 9 a.m., something along those lines is when we're going to do it. So first one, like I said, definitely going to understand this is not going to be super theologically based. It's just going to be gear shifting into straight up introduction to the Bible. We're going to get into kind of like, well, you'll see. You'll definitely see. I'm going to be reading and studying and teaching through the SBL Study Bible. So something I highly recommend anybody getting their hands on if you're a believer, but you want to learn a wider range of scholarship as well. I'm not personally Catholic, but there's excellent information in the NAB Catholic Study Bible that covers like a whole range of history that's very important to know. So going to be going through there as well. Study notes, biblical archaeology, all that stuff. Very exceptional scholarship. So again, don't expect a lot of people to care about that. I totally don't expect a lot of people to stick around. I do, on the other hand, expect a lot of people to talk crap. That's for sure. I expect an incredible amount of people to try to troll. I tried to do this once already, like a month ago. You would not be surprised, but it didn't take less than like 5 minutes before an ocean of horrible things started coming through. So again, it doesn't hurt my feelings, but I don't want young people to potentially come through and see that stuff. Where are you getting those thumbnails? Facebook. I basically get all my stupid thumbnails from memes that I see that tickle me on Facebook. Why troll with the word of God, though? That's a good question, but people definitely, they get, it's not for people. But honestly, I could be reading anything and people just, they like to do it. They like to mock things that are religious based. And I get it. There's a lot of horrible people out there doing Pharisee-like behavior in the name of God. So I totally understand why people get bent out of shape. But, you know, that's what we're here for. Some days are going to be a little bit more like straight up about doing sermons and stuff. Other days it's going to be more specific educational. But thank you, King Sword. Very happy. Can't wait for have you come through. And again, I'm no genius or nothing in any way, shape, or form. But I've been studying this stuff for a very long time, the best that I can, and sharing that information with other people to help out in any way, shape, or form means a lot to me. He's just not proud of that. Changed my life around. Well, hey, dude, I'm just happy that you're here, Redbeard. God bless you, brother. Like I send oceans and oceans of love to you. And like I say, I'm just a dude who, again, 7 years sober as of a couple of weeks ago. That's a big deal for me. I had never thought I was going to make it this far. I have been this close, literally, to passing this earth. Things that I cannot talk about on camera because it's not appropriate. But here I am, still living, still kicking, and I thank God every single day that the opportunity and the free will to make decisions to turn life around, that you are not a slave to losing in this life. You are not having to be bound to your struggles and your sins. So if you have addiction problems and so much more, no matter what that thing is, you don't have to be stuck to it. Even if it feels hopeless, I promise you, you have the ability to break free from that. So thank you, Dan, for subscribing. It means the world to me. Like, seriously, I can't do this coming week. Hey, that's perfectly fine, dude. Hey, at least you can probably go back and watch it if you want to. But I'm just happy that you're here. Seriously. Congratulations, 7 years sober. We're glad you're still here. That means the world to me, Mick. Like, I'm glad to have you here, brother. So, like I said, I know people who come for the fragrant stuff. If they hear all this other junk, maybe they don't care. But every now and then, somebody slips through that crack and wants to hang out and stay. And that means the world to me. Any single person, that's what matters. This channel, it ain't about just me or nothing at all. It's about all of us building a community around our passions. So fragrance is what it starts with, but that's far from where it ends. It starts here, but I branch it off into faith, and that's something that, by the way, this was not some sneaky plan. I didn't do all this so that I can creep in here and be like, hey, time to evangelize y'all suckers. That's not what happened here. But that is where we're going at this point. How often do you do lives? So personally, that is something I was just talking about, is routinely Wednesday mornings, Wednesday evenings, if possible. Not always going to be 2 times in one day, but definitely at least once on Wednesday. And then I'm going to start trying to do a post as well to let people know what it's looking like. And again, there's going to be 2 different streams if I can do them on Wednesdays. One of them is going to be biblical studies and faith-based histories, as well going into other religions at some point, but I'm a Christian. And then also fragrance streams as well, and general life discussions. So both of those are typically going to happen on Wednesdays. Then during the weekends, sometimes I might do Saturdays just for fun. You never know. Sometimes my wife might join. And then Sundays for sure as well, potentially twice a day. Maybe in the morning, maybe in the night. Could be either one, could be both. But I'll try to do little posts and let you guys know. But I appreciate you popping through. And like I said, anything you guys are interested in getting into, I'd love to talk about it. Everybody's welcome for that stuff. If anybody, like I said, wants to do the split screen streams at some point and join and hang out with me and talk, you're welcome for that probably too. I can do Sundays every week. Well then, dude, you're completely welcome, and we will join in. I was Catholic, turned as Gnostic, but Jesus Christ gave me up on me. Never gave up on me. I'm Catholic, and I can say I'm very happy seeing Jesus Christ can save me. If you're in other religions, absolutely. So that's another thing too. That's not. I don't want to get into like an actual theological stuff here, but technically, church tradition in and of itself for quite some time. And then at this point, again, a lot of denominations don't really stand on this, but it's not a secret. Like no matter who you are, or where you're from, absolutely not. And again, like I said, going to make this especially clear. Obviously trolls are going to slip through the crack, but again, this is a family-friendly show. You do anything stupid, you're out of here. Just again, another message. I believe in God. I'm a godly dude. And no matter who you are, what walk of life you are, what you believe in, you're all welcome here. We will discuss life and faith and fragrance, but disgusting crap, not going to happen. You're out of here. But yeah, with that being said, I'm super happy that you found your way back, King Sword. I definitely agree with you as well. It's a fantastic thing that no matter who you are or where you're from, God can reach people anywhere. There is no boundaries on that. There might be things that we personally believe. I was just wondering. Now, I understand that, but like I said, I'm all for cracking jokes and stuff, but that kind of stuff is out of here. So I'm a Catholic. Well, if you're serious about that, hey, appreciate you. But yeah, in and of itself, like I said, understanding that people of all walks of life, like God can reach people anywhere. There is no boundaries on that. God's not bound to anything. We, on the other hand, as far as I personally believe, again, not trying to convince people or anything like that, we, on the other hand, are bound to rules and standards and things for specific reasons for our own benefit and growth and development and to come to know God. On the other hand, though, if you're out there, God loves you. But yeah, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and do my ending stream prayer. Before I do, I'm actually, since we're about to go to sleep, me and my wife, I'm popping Rose's Greedy on because I do love this. Hold on. Oh yeah, no, that's one of the most fantastic smells. I love it so much. But with that being said, yeah, what is the rose still going? I sure am Unlucky Charm. What is the best smelling Versace Eros? Definitely the parfum. Versace Eros parfum, number one. Versace Eros Flame for me, number two. Then the Eros Energy, and then Eau de Parfum. Do you want to hear a joke? Sure, go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry, I'll pray with you. Hey, dude, no, that's totally fine. Like I said, I don't mean that stuff to like put anybody down or anything. Like I said, I just keep it family friendly in here for sure. But I absolutely don't mean to put anybody down. Like if anybody does anything that I see is like to me inappropriate, I just keep it family friendly. But I never need people like you don't have to leave or nothing. Best Invictus for daily wear. Honestly, don't have a whole lot of experience with Invictus to be real with you. But I am about to go ahead and do my ending stream prayer. Oh wait, hold on. Let's see the joke. Why don't chickens wear underwear? Why is that? I love Dan Dan. Why don't chickens wear underwear? It better be fun, or it better be a dad joke. It better be good. Come on, don't leave us hanging. Underrated. I'd see you making real good content. I appreciate you, dude. It means the world to me. Carlos, let's see. Dude, we're all going crazy here. You gotta tell us why don't chickens wear underwear? Why? You gotta finish the joke. You can't leave us like this. Oh, it's crazy. I want to start my in-stream prayer thing, but at the same time, I don't want to miss this. Love Dan, don't mess this up, bro. He's killing us here. You know what? He's doing this on purpose. He's trying to leave us hanging. Well, whatever. At the end of the day, it's okay. We're about to do our little thing, and then we're gonna don't mess this up, bro. But anyway, we're about to go ahead. So again, to anybody who's new here, at the end of every stream, as a Christian, I end all my streams with prayer. But again, it doesn't matter to me if you're Muslim, Hindu, atheist. I don't care. You're all welcome here. Ain't nobody here for no hate. If you try to hate, you're out of here. You know, your comments aren't going to stick around, especially if they're vulgar. But no matter what walk of life you are, I end my streams with prayer. With that being said, though, if you guys want to actually sit here and ask questions, if you want to like not be a part of the prayer, that's totally fine, totally okay. But anyway, laugh my ass. Oh, I didn't see it. Did he say the joke, or did I miss something here? Whatever. Either way, all right, dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for all these people who pop through during these chats. Like it's meant so much to me to communicate with them because that's the whole reason why we do this. Like I started this channel with one aim and I'm still going in that direction. And yet at the same time, since I started these streams, it's been the biggest blessing to meet all these random people. Like they're so cool. They're so sweet. And I'm grateful I get to share your love with them and that they even have any interest at all. It just means the world to me. Getting to use perfumery as well as this beautiful avenue that we get to connect and have a community is so special to me. It's one of my biggest passions in the world. I'm grateful you allowed us to have this as one of the many beautiful creative things we get to do. So it means the whole world to me, God, that I get to have every day. I thank you with all my heart for my wife, for my children, for my family. I pray, Father, for my grandmother. I know at this moment, you know, she's still suffering. I know she's going to be with you very soon. I lift her up to you in your precious name, like I lift my grandmother to you. And I know that there's a purpose and reasons behind things. And with all these people watching, I pray that they come to know that they have not just one purpose. They're not just living this life to meet one end. They've got purposes on purposes. And I pray that they come to know what they are and that if they're feeling hopeless right now, God, I just hope they come to know you and come to know that beautiful, sweet peace in their heart and understand what matters versus what doesn't. And we let go of the things that mean nothing and just seek after love and peace and community and family. And I just love you, God, with all my heart. I'm thankful every day for who you are, for your grace, your mercy, and what you've done in my life. And I pray for these people as well. Like I said, they just come to know you and they get to know that love in their soul. So all the people are welcome here, no matter who they are, where they're from. God, I just pray you bless them and touch their heart. In the name of Jesus, I love you so much and lift everything up to you. Amen. Bless these people, God. So like I said, you all are welcome here. I love y'all so much. I appreciate y'all. I mean that sincerely. I'm not just some random turd trying to throw some crap at you. It means a lot to me to see you guys here. And y'all's questions mean so much. And y'all's conversation means so much. So again, I'm Andrew Douglas Moon. This is my channel. If you want to go check out my reviews that I've done so far, or watch like the repost I did from a year and a half ago, me and my wife had some fun trying snacks. So I posted that. It's from our old house. So if you guys want to go share some love, please, please don't forget to hit the like button on these things because even though I hate doing that stupid, douchey salesman crap, you got to do that as a YouTuber. Kind of help you grow. I'm still not getting paid doing this. So I'm getting close though. I will say you guys have been helping out a lot doing that. So it means a lot to me. I'm actually getting close. So please feel free to go check out my actual reviews. The longer you watch them, it really helps the algorithm. If you hit the like button, comment on them, really helps the algorithm. So thank you for your support. Thank you for sticking through. Thank you for your prayers, Mick. I really appreciate that from my grandma. But yeah, Super loved y'all. God bless y'all. You're welcome here anytime. And hopefully I'll catch you guys at the next streams. Pipe Man, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate that. Like seriously, it means the world to me. Any single person wants to stick around, that's all I care about is we get to hang out some more. Because it's true. Like every one of you guys that hang out, that means that going forward in the next streams, you guys get to be here and we get to talk. Which reminds me, please feel free to think about some questions or some things you'd like to ask me next time, stuff you want to get into. And as well, if you guys just have anything going on in your own personal lives you ever want to talk about, if you don't mind talking to strangers, we're here for you. So hang out live and talk with God. Absolutely, brother. Hang out, we pray, we just spend time together. Jace, thank you, Mike. I really appreciate that. God bless y'all, dude. So definitely, I'm heading out of here, but I hope y'all have. Oh, let me reorganize my stuff too. I don't know about you guys, but I can't stand when things are a little wacky or a little out of place. I gotta have everything just right. But yeah, with that being said, I'm Douglas. Excuse me. Now I want to say it. I literally was like, I want to go to my real name because Douglas Moon, which is my middle name, Douglas, is throwing me off because I always introduce it by Andrew. But now I want to do the opposite. So I'm Andrew Douglas Moon. Thank you guys for being here so much. I appreciate y'all. And y'all are welcome anytime. And I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Also, totally forgot. Sorry. As you can see, I ramble. If you find me on Instagram, same name, Andrew Douglas Moon. If you guys ever want to shoot me a message on there and actually just if you need to talk or something like that, again, I am busy, got a wife and kids and stuff. I stay busy, but I do try to get on there and see. And if I can, I don't normally respond with voice messages because I got arthritis and I don't really like typing that much. But I will try to get back with you guys and stuff if y'all ever need to talk about something one-on-one. So again, just find me on there and we'll chill out. What's your favorite cologne? That would be Jean Paul Gaultier's La Mal Le Parfum, the black bottle, 100%. See you guys later. Go watch my reviews. I appreciate y'all so much.